Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today, thanks to the folks at Big Bad Toy Store, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Combiner Wars Protectobot Groove. Originally available only via the Takara box set for the Protectobots, Hasbro has finally been able to give it to us as a standalone figure. There are some minor changes to how this looks compared to that Takara one, but fans of Transformers and the Protectobots really are going to be excited about being able to just kind of complete their G1 look for Defensor with this guy. For the box, you can see you got this nice open window shell that fully displays the figure within in a very strange split kind of pose. You got the Transformers logo here. It says Generations. Come around here to the side, or well, it's really strange because they actually kind of showed him as being part of Skyrain, which, whatever, it's whatever floats their boat, but he could be an arm and a leg for Skyrain or really any of the combiners because they all are part of that Scramble City sort of thing, so you can put them wherever you want. If you wanted him to be an aerial bot, you could stick him there. But you got that image right there. You got a picture of him in his robot mode as well as his motorcycle mode. And then up here it just says he's a freedom fighter who would sacrifice his own spark if it would bring peace. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it for it. So without further ado, let's get this guy opened up and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Deluxe Class Groove open up and out of its packaging. And obviously, as you can tell, he's not that little legend-sized figure. I mean, a lot of people were happy with that. I mean, and I can kind of understand why, because as a motorcycle, this guy is really big. I mean, it definitely throws the whole scale thing off, but as Transformer fans, we're kind of used to that. Now, scale never really worked out very well, but this guy absolutely turned out terrific. Now, the differences between this and the Takara one are very minuscule. I mean, you almost can't even really tell. Some of the difference are like here in the windshield, this is a very nice blue color, whereas the Takara one is almost indistinguishable. There's a little bit of a tint of a green in it. These little side siren lights are a little bit more pinkish here, whereas they're a little bit more red on the Takara one. The pins, I think, on this guy, these are silver, or the screws, I should say, these are silver, whereas the Takara one uses black ones. So, I mean, those are the changes. That's really basically it. But as you can see, you can peg this on the top here, and you can kind of have like this little chain gun weapon on here, which does look pretty good. You can set that off to the side. He also does come with, detaching that. He also does come with two regular guns that just peg here along the side of his motorcycle mode, but get him to sit right there. Sit, dude. But really very nice on this as well. These look like they're clear and then painted silver with some red paint put up here for the little siren or something like that. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can definitely see like the handle here is clear lucent, and then even on the side peg that pegs into the back part of the wheel is also clear lucent. So really very cool how that turned out. I definitely dig it. That's a real nice looking weapon. But vehicle mode wise, really very nice on them. I mean, the paint detail is very good. You got some clear loose plastic right here on the front of it. You can see some nice silver paint underneath, kind of showing the detail with like the headlights and things like that. You got some nice silver paint along the side here. You got police along that side. The tires here, you can see that the back one is a little bit thicker, which actually kind of looks pretty cool, you know, for being a, you know, police bike kind of thing. And then you got the little thinner one here, but you got some nice silver rims. You do see that they actually molded in a kickstand here on this arm, which is really good. I mean, you can roll that very nicely, and then you can just put that down. And if you don't have a rounded table, I mean, it does sit kind of straight, but getting it on there, I mean, you can see that it does stand there really nicely. But for comparison, here he is next to Streetwise, and like I said, I mean, this is one thing where like a motorcycle would never be this big. That's why some people had no problem with, you know, the Legend Groove being part of it. But, you know, for us G1 fans, I mean, this is something that is really cool to have. So you do have a huge size difference here, but really very cool nonetheless. Now, obviously, this is also the Hasbro version. I never wanted to get the Takara version just to get Groove. I mean, the price was pretty high on it. And yeah, the paint details and stuff on the rest of the figures are pretty nice, but not enough to make me want to pay that money. The only reason why I would want that actual box set was to get this guy. So I never picked it up hoping that Hasbro would do like they did with Slingshot, for example, selling him separately, and lo and behold, here he is. Now, for his transformation, it is very similar to what we've seen before, but obviously it is going to be a little bit different. And it feels like I haven't done the transformation in a Transformer review for a long time, so hopefully I remember how to do it. So you just detach this from the bottom section, and then you rotate these around just like so, kind of keeping that straight, and then you bring that around, or well, it's going to go around that way. Do that on this side as well, bring that down, rotate that around. Then you come down here to the legs, and they detach like a lot of the figures that we were seeing before. You rotate this out, you bring that down, you straighten that up, and then you've got a little slot section here that you bring this in, and you'll tab that into. You do that on this side as well. You could split them, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So tab that in, just like that, locking those legs into place. Then split them, and the tire here kind of gets a little bit tricky when you're trying to line it back up going into actually the vehicle mode, but we'll deal with that later. So just rotate that around just like that. Again, making sure that I got those little knee sections locked in there pretty nicely, and then you rotate them around here at the waist, spin it around here, take this section here, detach this and bring this back and around, rotate this around, revealing his head. And this is where you can totally see that they're going to repaint and remold this for a certain motorcycle looking Technobot. But you bring this up, let's see, and then you spin this around like that, bring that up, and then you just tuck that down like so, angle these down, angle that, and there you have, let's see, do I have, oh, I don't have his legs. Oh, I popped the leg out. Let's get that tab back in there. But once you're done, there you have Groove in his groovy looking robot mode. And there's just something really cool about this guy. Honestly, I don't know if it's just a refreshing kind of thing to get a new mold, but all in all, I'm really quite happy with how this guy turned out. And I'm just so happy that Hasbro actually decided to give us him. As you can see, for his weapons, he holds them really nicely, and I really love the way that they look. I mean, they're very cool looking. The coloring on here just works so very nicely. These turned out fantastic. But just the figure in general really does have a nice look to him. You come around here to the back. Obviously, he's got a fairly large backpack. It's not overly bad, though, for some reason. I mean, it kind of works. I mean, there's a lot of figures that we've gotten before in terms of motorcycles where this is what they basically have done with it, and they kind of look like eyesores, but this doesn't look all that bad. I'm really very surprised in that kind of respect. And it balances fairly nicely. A lot of times we get them and they look, oh, we want to fall back because of how just big that is. But paint detail on here really does get very, very nice. I mean, some of the parts that I didn't really expect to be painted. I mean, you come around here and you can kind of see like behind the actual red sections right here, you can see some nice silver paint right there. When you look at the inside of the arm, this is painted silver, which is kind of surprising. You got some nice silver paint here on the upper part of his arms as well as the lower part. Obviously, you got the nice kind of gold color here for his chest. It kind of goes around. You got some silver that goes on the waist here as well. So, I mean, you're definitely getting a fairly premium colored figure. I mean, I don't know if that's just held over from, you know, the Takara one or what, but I mean, overall really nice. I mean, I like how they got the silver stripe right here that kind of breaks up the white. You got the nice black and everything down here for the legs. I mean, if this wasn't from Hasbro, I would definitely expect this to be a, you know, kind of Takara figure. I mean, it just looks really that very nice. The head sculpting here looks great. Coming in to take a nice close look at that, you can see you got some serious light piping coming through there. I mean, you block it and like, wow. I mean, you come around here to the back and the entire back section is this clear lucid piece of plastic that just allows that yellow light to come through, or that yellow plastic just to kind of illuminate just very, very brightly. The sculpting on the head looks really nice as well. I like the crest and everything. Now, I also do like how they kind of offset the color of his face so it's not as yellow as his eye color is. I mean, that's really nice. So sculpting wise, really very cool on that. Now, as I said, I know we are getting a repaint and remold of this for the Technobots. I'm not sure if they're going to be giving us a new head or not, or if this is just exclusive to Grooves, but in general, really very solid looking figure on him. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a little bit of a rotation there. looks left, right. You can go all the way around with it. Kind of looks up and down a bit. You got the shoulder joints here. I guess you could kind of see you got two. One's just for transformation, though, as it hinges right there. And then you got a ball joint at the main portion of the actual shoulder. You can see that he's got a bicep swivel. He's got soft ratchet joints here for the elbows. Nothing at the wrists or anything of that nature. Come down to the waist, and that can rotate as part of the transformation. And then as a combiner figure, he can be an arm or a leg. So that's very useful in, like the arm configuration. He does have a upper thigh swivel. He bends here at the knee, and that's it for his articulation. But in general, really great looking figure. And then I guess if you wanted to use this as a weapon as well, you could bring that out, and you can use that as a gun. I just think some of these as weapons kind of looks a little bit silly, but I really do like this guy. Now, like I said, you can make him an arm or a leg. It's your personal preference, really, on what you want to do. For an arm kind of look, you're basically just going to be rotating this stuff around. I kind of like going like that. It's your personal preference on how you choose to configure him to look. So some of them have, weird sort of looks to it that I'm not a big fan of. But for his arm, you're just going to bring this in. You're going to lock this together like that. I love how the actual connecting tab is a bit of a mushroom peg, so it locks in very securely. You got that, and then let's see, we're going to do the arm thing. So we just rotate this out, bring this up, and peg that right in there. And there you have his arm. I mean, you got a joint right up here that allows it to rotate here at the shoulder. You can move it obviously in and out. He rotates here at the waist, so that gives him kind of a actual elbow swivel. And then he's got the hips and the knees, which kind of dual as the elbow joints themselves. So, I mean, arm-wise, I mean, it's not bad. But, I mean, for me, Groove was always the leg in Defensor. So getting that there, bringing that down. To go into his leg mode, really, you just kind of bring this up. Where's his head here? Get this out of the way. Get that back. Leg mode is kind of like going back into basically his vehicle mode. So we're going to just detach this. Well, I guess we don't need to really detach it. You can just swivel that out like so, and then swivel this up. Well, there we go. I already got it rotated all the way around to where it needs to be. So just bring that in, kind of collapse all that. It does make it a little bit easier if you separate the actual pieces here, because you can kind of see what's going on. So let's just, my leg! Optibotimus broke my leg! You dirty bum! Alright, I'm sorry, Groove, you whiny baby. Let's put that back on there. Let's see. That's going to make it difficult now. Now it's going to be a pain in my butt. Figures. There we go. Get there. There we are. All of that just to save a few extra steps, and it ended up costing me more steps. So see, people, kids, the easy way is not always the best way. So don't cheat at school. What? I don't understand. So we're just going to go like that. However you want. Although honestly, I wonder. No, wait. No, I was actually mistaken. Angle this down. Put this in there, and they're actually. Oops, I should not have spoken without knowing what I was speaking about. Get these little tabs lined up. It is a little tricky to do, honestly. So bring that in. There we go. Oh, well, I'm just going to set it right there. But once you take these and actually slot these down into that little groove section, there are actually little slot sections on the inside here of his arm that tab in here. So you bring that down, and then you tab that in to the leg. Bring that there. And that's actually where you put the arms. So I apologize. And then you put his foot back on, because you made things a lot more difficult than it needed to be, Paul. And then get that out of the way, and oh, this is awesome. There we go. There we go. There you have Defensor the way that he should look. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I really, I mean, this is the look that, I mean, he always had for me. So this is my preferred kind of look for the guy. I mean, just really solid. I'm making everything fall apart now. And you got first aid now up here for the arm. I mean, that's a real nice position for him. I mean, yeah, the feet and everything are still kind of goofy looking. There are third-party add-on things that you can do to kind of, you know, offset that kind of goofy look, but I'm happy with how this turned out. I mean, it definitely is, you know, more of that G1 kind of look, and I can see where people would have wanted to go out and get the Takara one. I don't know. I had a feeling that we were going to get this guy released here in the States, and I'm very thrilled to see that actually come to fruition. It's just an overall much better look, I do think, for Defensor. I'm happy with him. I mean, granted, the waist still stinks on this guy, but looks-wise, it just gives Defensor that classic look that I grew up with, that I personally like. Now, that's not to say, you know, that Rook on here is a bad, you know, option for you, but much like in a Slingshot, for me and a lot of Transformer collectors, it just kind of completes that look that we want. So I'm absolutely thrilled that they gave us Groove here. I mean, it just is absolutely wonderful, I think. Now, I mean, because we're basically already in motorcycle mode, we're just going to kind of complete the whole thing. Again, you really got to fidget with these tires to kind of get things done properly. So take this, bring this up, bring this around. We're going to tab this into his chest, bring this up, around, bring this down, tab that into his chest. You can take this section, lift this up, rotate that around, and then bring these down, lock those into place just like so. Get this. Again, yeah, I mean, I don't like the way that the wheel actually lines up. I mean, it lines up very precariously. You're constantly looking to make sure you got it properly lined up, and it's really not the easiest to do because you have to kind of push everything together and fidget with a lot of this. So just playing with that. I mean, is that there? Do I got it now? I think it does. You know, it's not rolling as well. I guess it is. Bring this down, bring that up, push that down, lock that into place. But there you have him back in his motorcycle mode. And again, you got the little kickstand. You can put that right there. Bring these little weapons back up here. This just kind of rounds out the look. Bring this up. Tab that along the side. And do that on this side here as well. So, in general, like I said, I never really felt that Takara set was really worth that extra price just to get him. Granted, you know, the paint details and everything on the Takara Defensor really does look nice. It just wasn't enough to make me want to get that set. So this is definitely something that I'm very happy that Hasbro decided to actually release to us. Now we just got to sit back and wonder if we're going to get Blast Off. Which, as of right now, we haven't gotten any kind of official confirmation that we're going to be getting a Hasbro version for that. But ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if we did. But that's it, guys. That's my look at the Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Groove. Now, if you guys are interested in picking this guy up, he is going to be available through what Hasbro calls May Mayhem. And with that, he'll be available through several different online retailers, including, as always, Big Bad Toy Store. So if you're interested in picking this guy up, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can keep tabs on availability for this guy, as well as the rest of the Transformer Combiner War figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also, don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later. You're at your best when the going gets rough.